On this edition of Idle Game Chat, Apps is joined by Logan and Hall as they discuss EA and the Star Wars license.
But in short, I don't think EA have done a bad job. So I would be surprised. No, but when you actually get on there and you actually play the game, they're not ever going to be Game of the Year style games, I don't think. I just don't.
But it's fucking Star Wars. This IP is a license to print money for everyone involved. There's so many different genres that Star Wars could hit and should be hitting today, and I just feel like EA have fumbled this opportunity a little bit. They've had 3 games out. That ain't good enough.
Things boil over in the discussion with loot boxes in gaming.
People are just fucking idiots, mate. Monitor what's going on in your house better.
Yeah, but the world has to be catered for morons. You have to realise this.
No, yeah, it does. But then don't punish all of us for the few morons that can't keep an eye on fucking.
You're not getting punished.
It is because
Dirty old great sticker on his box.
Yeah, exactly. I've got some.
How's that punishment? You don't even look at the box.
And they celebrate the Nintendo Switch's first birthday.
I think it's been a good year for Nintendo, all things considered. When you look at previous consoles, I mean, the Wii U was a bit of a flop. Obviously, the Wii did very well, but I mean, that was fucking years ago now.
All that and much, much more on Idle Game Chat.
Hello and welcome to Idle Game Chat. This is our March 2018 edition where we discuss what we've been playing and the latest industry news. This time you've got myself, Apps, and the original podcast dream team. It's Logan and Hall. Gents, how are we doing?
OG crew back in the game.
It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Are we doing this monthly, allegedly?
Yeah, monthly, because I ain't doing it weekly anymore.
Well, no, I didn't.
How hard was it to get this organised? We're an hour and 5 minutes late already, so imagine that on a weekly basis.
Is it though?
Well, Hall is there. Hello, Hall.
Hello.
We've had to deal with you on the Fantasy Gaming League this year, which you weren't too bad on. I think it was only a 10-minute. This was a new low for you.
Hour and 5 minutes late to the party. That's what happens. That's what I can do.
And that is exactly why nothing weekly will ever be done on Dimp Digital ever again, because the stress that I have to go through to make it happen is not worth it. Yeah. It's been a long time since this combination's been together, and I'm interested to see whether you pair can operate together or whether you're both still as bad as I remember. Probably going to be the latter, isn't it, on that one?
Yep.
We usually kick things off by going through what we've been playing in the last few weeks or so. But Hall, I want to start with you because, and 2 topics that are probably just outside of that, but you've been doing stuff, we should say, or you have done stuff. You've achieved something very mighty and something that you set out to do in 2017. We haven't had a chance to catch up about it, but congratulations on hitting 100,000 gamer score. You set yourself a deadline at the end of 2017 and you hit it. Is it a relief to finally get that off your plate?
Oh, tell me. Yes, it is. That was a real slog of a December, and I did not enjoy myself.
How many did you have in December? How much did you have to do in December? Like just the heavy
about 11,000.
Right, that's quite a lot.
It was awful because I was just playing shit games for achievements, and I was ploughing through them. And the only thing that was keeping me going was Xbox on Twitter kept on tweeting at me saying, yes. Oh yeah, keep going. And I was hoping to get something at the end of it. When I got there, they'd be like, oh, here's a game, or oh, here's a code for a year's free online. And I went, I finally got there. And they ignored me.
They didn't even reply, did they?
Not even so much as a reply. So go and fuck yourselves. I'm moving to PlayStation.
Trace them platinum trophies.
Yeah.
What are some of the low points of going through that process? I mean, you mentioned playing some shit games, trying to get to your 100k target. Anything in particular that sticks out on that front that you thought, what is this trash?
Oh, yeah, loads. I mean, I was literally just scouring the store and asking people for suggestions of stuff that is easy to get 1000G on, basically. Yeah. I mean, I played a lot of Telltales.
Yeah.
I played So I did some good ones. I did like Virginia, which I thought was very good, although it was weird. I did the old original walking simulator, Dear Esther.
Yeah.
That's not terrible, although it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I did Refunked, which was a recommendation from Loading, which is...
How can that be any good?
Well, that's quite a fun one, because like some of the achievements are to complete the game in under 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's like, that was quite amusing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, a lot of Telltales, did Back to the Future, Minecraft, Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
I did a game called Never Alone, which was is like a 2D side-scrolling story about a girl and a wolf.
Yeah.
It's weird. Yeah, just a lot of... and then I started playing stuff like... There was this train game called The Final Station. It's like, there was some real turt being thrown out there. Some real fucking turt. And I was desperate to land at bang on 100,000.
Right,
so
of course.
I went looking for games with odd numbered achievements, and I couldn't find anything. And it took me so long to find something that had an odd numbered achievement, but then I couldn't find the right amount to land dead on 100,000. Oh, it was just awful.
So you didn't land dead on 100,000 in the end because of the...
No, it was 100,005.
Oh, that is real sickener.
Really upset me. It did.
Would you consider doing it again for 200,000?
Maybe, but I wouldn't.
250.
I wouldn't.
Got to be 250.
I wouldn't sit and do it in the way that I've done it, like where I set myself a specific deadline to aim for, because it was just awful. It just made me. Like, I've barely touched Xbox since December as a consequence. I've barely played.
Put you off it a little bit, is it?
Well, it's just like I say, you just start grinding and playing shit games for the sake of playing shit games, and it just puts you off wanting to play games full stop, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, not something that I'm going to rush back into. I'm quite happy now, 100,000. I've beaten Adkins.
Yeah.
Everyone's let it lie. That's that.
You're finally now you're finally the one that can say I'm the best member of the Dimp Digital team, because that's all it come down to, is when you had that
was all it was for,
web profile, and you've now surpassed him and got to 100k, which is a great achievement. I hit 50k not long ago, so not a bad achievement.
As did Chappers.
Oh,
there's been a few that have sort of hit a few targets recently, so. Everyone wakes up when it's them, don't they? They all slag me off when I was going for it, but
I wasn't actively going for it; it just happened naturally. Yeah. And to be honest, since I got the Xbox One X, I've been playing all the third-party stuff on there. That's boosted it up a little bit. Have you got have they put you off achievements at all, like chasing them, or will you still look at games and go, you know what, I think I'll get that achievement? It sounds quite difficult to get, like a Borderlands type achievement.
I still like doing it, like Borderlands. The pre-sequel, for example, that we've considered. Well, we're going to start. I will actively go out and hunt to finish that 100%. I like the satisfaction of finishing something to 100%.
Yeah.
So it's not going to stop me from doing it on that side of things, but hopefully it's going to stop me from just playing all the fucking dross that appears on the store that won't take me long to finish.
I think that's the difference. This year you've kind of moved away from Gamerscore, as you mentioned, and set some gaming targets. Could you share what these are, because I have forgotten what they were. I know you sent them to me a while ago and I've lost in WhatsApp.
Yeah, so basically, like, I just wanted to do something that was going to stop me from achievement hunting, because I know what will happen. I'll just slip back into it and then I'll be away again. So I kind of set myself 5 targets to get ticked off by the end of the year, and they were to reach legend rank in Hearthstone,
right?
Which I've never done before. And it's like on a monthly basis, so I would have to reach legend in a month, which is doable for me. I've just never really put the time into it.
The nice thing about that one is you could target a month, and you won't be punished for not starting now. It's something you can say right in. I'm
not too worried about that. I can step it up and play that whenever. So yeah, reach diamond rank in Overwatch.
Cool.
Yeah, which is doable, but going to be really tough because we've just finished. I mean, season 8 has just finished on Overwatch, and I went in at sort of high platinum on PlayStation and didn't get there, and it was a bit demoralising to say the very least. So I thought that one was going to be out of the way by this time, and it unfortunately isn't.
You've got Overwatch on Xbox and PlayStation.
I have, yeah.
Is it easier on one platform than the other that you found?
I find it's much easier on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So
on it.
Yeah, I basically just do my placements in both and then see where I land, and then I'm going to play one or other based on where I land on the placements, essentially. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. That's quite a tough one, though. I feel like the Legend in Hearthstone's easier than getting Diamond in Overwatch for me.
Yeah.
I wanted to speed run a game to a decent standard.
Yep.
Which is a bit of a sort of ambiguous one, because like people were saying, what would I consider to be a decent standard? And I don't really know, to be honest. I've still got to find a game that I can sit and grind away at.
You got any ideas on that front of a game?
Well, I want to do one that's going to be sort of is speed run. Like, I don't feel like there's much point in me doing some shit game that hardly anyone speed runs or whatever, because how do you know if it's a good time or not? So I was looking at Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
Because I love that game and I know it quite well, there's some really good tutorials for a lot of the tricks and stuff that you can do.
Right.
So I might do that. I haven't really decided. Like I say, end of the day, I've got to find one that I'm willing to sit down and just grind through for hours and hours and hours and play over and over again. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that one. That one's going to be quite tough, I think.
Yeah.
Next up was build a PC from scratch.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And I haven't done it yet.
No.
But I've got some money put aside to buy myself a gaming PC.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a tough one, really, because I wanted to put it together myself, but because it's the convenience now, and like whole setups that you can buy online are so cheap and ready to go for a decent setup, it's kind of defeats the object a little bit. So what I might do is just buy a new PC and then dismantle the one that I've got and reassemble it. Just so I know. Yeah, because basically all I wanted to do is, like, I don't know anything about PCs really. Like, we've got some guys in the group that are really into it, like Dave and Chappers, who both know what they're doing with them, and I couldn't tell you what the fucking different, like, what's the graphics card and what's the hard drive. Like, I am all over the show with them, so I really just wanted to learn a little bit more about it. So I feel like maybe I could just take apart the one that I've got and reassemble it, and then buy myself a ready-made one ready to go. So we'll see. Yeah. And then the last one was stream for 10 hours every month, which I've blown for January and February already. Haven't even touched it.
No.
So
we're all set up properly now. We're all affiliated, so you know you could drive some beer money into Dimp Digital if you did your 10 hours a week. That's quite a lot. 10 hours a week.
10 hours a month.
Sorry, that's doable.
Which is a bit more doable. Yeah. So I figure if I could just fit in like 2.5 hours of a Sunday or something, then but. Again, the thing is, it's finding games that are worth streaming. Like, I've been playing... I know we're going to get onto it, but I've not really been playing stuff that I want to stream at the moment. I've just been sort of rotting, so... It's
tough, because I've been streaming a fair amount on the channel. And I found that when I stream something, and I said, well, we'll come on to what we've been playing, but something like The Evil Within or NIER, which are new games to me, it kind of distracts me from the game. So I don't like missing bits. So I've actually said to myself, what I'm going to do is to get a game that I'm either familiar with or that I'm not overly, don't care too much about. Yeah. Like Shadow of the Colossus, I've played through once, so that's going to be the stream game that I'm going to be working through over the next few weeks. And
you don't need to worry quite so much about missing bits. Or,
like Red Dead 2, no chance of that happening. Like, that's not getting streamed till I'm much more comfortable, settled in the game. So it is hard to find a game, because if you don't want to zap the enjoyment of it yourself.
No, that's it, and it is tough. And the thing is, like, as well, I don't want to stream any games that I am playing multiplayer, because I don't feel it's fair on other people when they're in a party and they don't necessarily know they're being streamed or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I play more multiplayer games than I do single player, but I'd quite like to play through. I still haven't played through Uncharted 4, for example, but like you say, I don't want to just detract away from the actual playing experience by trying to talk on stream and be semi-entertaining and read comments and bits and pieces. So, it's a tough one, difficult one to balance. But I'll get around to doing some streaming at some point or another, I'm sure. That's kind of probably going to come in line with the new PC rig, and I've got to rearrange my current gaming setup because it's not working for me at the moment. So we'll see.
Absolutely. Logan, you've been frozen out there for the best part of 15 minutes. Do you still play video games is the real question, because I'm not sure what's going on with you.
We need to define a video game, don't we? Really?
Spreadsheet simulator.
Football Manager does count.
Yeah, I've fallen into a little bit of a gaming rut, I think. I feel like I played some different stuff at the end of last year and a little bit into January. I had Mario going on.
Yes.
I completed Snipper Clips on the Switch.
On your own?
No, I completed that with Jodie. So
I haven't done that of her yet. I've had it over a year.
I was playing a bit of that bloody farming game, which is now evading me.
Stardew Valley.
Yeah, but I haven't really got into that. And then I completed Mario, and I haven't really gone back to it. I keep going back to see what's going on in the store on there, seeing if there's anything good on sort of sale on there, but nothing's really piquing me interest on that at the minute. No. I finished off Guardians of the Galaxy. Me and Hall did Castle Crashers.
Out of that, perfect.
Yeah, and then since sort of the turn of the year, it's kind of been sporadic jumping on. I think, when did we finish Destiny? Have we touched that this year?
We had it at the start of the year in January, and then the meltdown happened during Eater of Worlds, and we haven't gone back to it since.
We had a meltdown issue which put the brakes on a lot for about 2 or 3 weeks. But it's mainly been just Modern Warfare Remastered, Football Manager, and sporadic GTA when we've got into it.
So Modern Warfare Remastered, one of your, if not your favourite game of all time. You've had plenty of time now to delve into that after resisting for as long as possible until it came on its own, basically. Yeah. Is it living up to your expectations? And are you as good as you remember?
I'm not, I don't know. I seem to do okay. Like, my kill to death ratio is roughly the same as it was, or well, technically a little bit better, but I play it differently to how I used to, so it's hard to say. But it's a very good game. The only thing that does piss me off is randomly disconnects me for some peculiar reason. It never does it on any other game, but it says my internet drops.
It's that fault by internet, mate.
No, it doesn't. GTA's fine. Destiny, every other game, it just does it on that, which is weird and frustrating. Yeah. But it's not. I don't know. It's not perfect. It's it feels a little bit buggy, and I don't know how to explain that. But when you get into games and stuff, which it does 98% of the time, 99% of the time, it's fine. It looks great. It feels great. It's but the thing is, it's hard to say because it's 10 years ago or whatever that I played it, and I'm just looking at it going, "Yep, it's exactly how I remembered it," but it's not. Yeah. It's obviously been enhanced, so I need to at some point go back on the 360 and just have a look at it. Yeah, it'd been the one thing I would like is when they did it on the Halo remaster, if I could just put it back into ship mode just to remind me briefly every now and again what it used to look like, so I can appreciate it. But no, I really enjoy that.
Yeah, Master Chief Collection was great for that, being able to just flick between the old version and the new version. I thought that was a really clever feature to add, and it showed the amount of work that had gone into it. So it's one of those things, though, like when I've obviously got the Xbox One X here and the PS4 Pro, like as soon as you start playing in like 4K or close to 4K, it becomes, because you haven't got that comparison there, you lose, it loses its impact eventually, and it's probably what's happened there. You just accept
that as the default now.
Yeah, and you go anything below that, it's not good enough.
Yeah, I mean, we always say that when loading comes over to mine and sees...
Oh, more stuff I'm being cut out of.
Sees the Xbox One X on my big TV, he always says, like, it just looks ridiculous. And I'm like, does it? It looks just like it normally does.
But he's always for me.
But in comparison to what he plays on at times, it's like, you always say it's a bit of a step up.
Mm.
Oh yeah, like the thing is, I'm not sitting here on like saying ridiculous, but all I've got is a 24-inch TV or something. I think it's 24, and just an Xbox One. So it's kind of like I've got it in 1080p HD, but when you go onto your screen, it's obviously a lot different. So yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you need the comparison, and once you get used to it, it loses its impact. As I mentioned, I've been playing The Evil Within 2, I've been playing NIER Automata, Shadow of the Colossus I've been trying to stream, 4 Colossi down on that, and then also I picked up Golf Story on the Switch when it was on sale in the store. Evil Within 2 is seemingly pretty good, but I've got a feeling it's a lot more meaty than I was anticipating. I think I'm six hours in, something like that, and I've played... No, I am 6 hours in and I'm on Chapter 5. And that's concerning. I like to do the,
Chapter 5 of how many?
I don't know. I haven't looked. I don't like knowing that either, because then you kind of, I know
when
the
you get
coming.
the end. Yeah.
And if something hasn't happened, I know it's going to happen soon. So, but it's what they've done in this game is they've made it a lot more open. So typically in The Evil Within, it was quite it had little routes you'd go down, but this time you get put in a map that you can explore, and there's optional side quests, which is something I was not expecting at all in a survival horror game.
Yeah.
And what that does with me, because I'm such a, I have to look at everything and find everything and go in every nook and cranny in case I miss something.
That brain, innit?
It costs me, and I'm spending too long fiddling, not pushing on with the main story. But you kind of have to, because the game's scarce on resources. You are rewarded for going out of your way to find these things.
Yeah.
The trouble is, you're also shit your pants every time you go out of the way, because they always put something there to fuck you up. So you never get something easy. Like if you see something there, you think, oh, some bullets there, something will happen. There's never a free ride in this, which I kind of appreciate because it keeps you on your toes. And they chuck a few false herrings in as well, which is good. Or red herrings, I think, is the real way to be describing that.
Yep.
But one thing that is a bit of a botherance, they've made it look really nice. Like the Evil Within was on old gen consoles. This is for current gen and PC only. It looks beautiful at times, but it doesn't run beautifully. There's a lot of pop-in and textures that load in late, things like that. I think they've pushed the boat out too far. And
that's trash.
It's annoying a little bit that how much kind of technical problems. I've had one hard crash as well, which not ideal. I mean, I don't normally.
You don't expect that from games nowadays, though.
No.
To get a hard crash nowadays is it's pretty inexcusable for me.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare Remaster loves a little bit of that every now and again as well.
Whilst you're online.
Yeah.
It's not. What are these people doing? Get the hard crashes eradicated, but.
Yeah.
So NIER was the other game that I've got, Automata, and I kind of playing them at the same time, but I found I've been more attached to the Evil Within 2. I don't know if it's because I want to get rid of this scared game off my... I don't want to be scared anymore. I want it done, so I ain't got to worry about it. I ain't got to be laying there going, fucking hell, I've got to go walk around that corner later. But moving on to...
Mind.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it when a game does that. It makes me think, right, I must be enjoying this because it's bothering me outside of sitting down and playing it. NIER, on the other hand, is just a fucking great game to play. It's really enjoyable. The combat's really slick, really fluid. I know you watched me stream the opening hour or so, Hall, and you was impressed, sort of sniffing round it.
Yeah, I saw someone else streaming it just a very short period because I watched a boss battle on it, and I was like, that looks fucking awesome. That looks exactly my cup of tea. And then I thought to myself, I don't want to watch too much of it because I don't want to spoil it for myself, which is pretty much where I was with your stream. So yeah, it looks good though.
Grab it. It's great, and I'll be playing. As I said, that's getting played as well. Shadow of the Colossus is what it is. It's a great looking update or remake, I should say, of the original. And if you haven't played that, for 22 UK pounds, just go out and play it. It's a great game. Golf Story is a little bit of a surprise. It's a bit weird, but it fits the Switch well. It's like a little RPG, but it's based around sort of a cartoonish golf world of sorts. There's all different courses you go through, and I'm not quite drawn to that as much as I thought I would, but it's an entertaining and quite a unique game. I don't often play top-down old school RPGs, but because it has golf in it, I was like, I'll give that a go for sure. And got to be playing that. You mentioned sort of you've been playing a bit of Overwatch earlier. Anything else that you've been sniffing round as of late?
Not really. Like I say, I've been drilling the Overwatch. I've been playing a lot of FIFA, to be honest.
Pro clubs.
Yeah, enjoying the pro clubs. I suppose it's kind of getting to the end of the year for FIFA. So
is it pro clubs or nothing on that?
Yeah, I've literally not played a single game outside of pro clubs. But I have played 380 odd games on pro clubs.
Jesus, wet.
So yeah, I've played it quite a lot. That Overwatch. Played a lot of Fallout Shelter, mostly whilst I'm at work.
Hope they don't listen to this.
Yeah, going back to Cuphead a little bit. And I've been playing I've been watching Sandy play the new Zelda DLC, or not the new DLC, just the Zelda DLC. So kind of just been ploughing through on that as well, which is.
What's her thoughts on that? Because when it came out, it didn't get like the ultimate reception that Breath of the Wild did. As people saying, "Well, is that good?" Is she?
It's a bit of an odd one, really. It's kind of it just adds a load of extra quests essentially. Like, I mean, if you like the base game, it'd be unfair to say it's not good because it's just more of the same. It's more of what you've been doing. It's more shrines. It's more challenges. It's more bits and pieces like that. There's not loads to it. There's not like a separate story arc for the DLC as such. It just kind of adds a little bit to the current story arc, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the fact of the matter is that game is just fucking unbelievable, and Sans has played so much of it, and I've watched her play loads, and there's still so much to do on it. Like, she's trying to go through and 100% it as she does, and there's just so much to do and so much to play around with. Like, she'll spend hours just catching like a rare horse, like finding a legendary horse or something, and then catching that, stabling it and riding around on that for a while. It's little things like that just give it that replay value that a lot of games I don't think have anymore. So I'm impressed with it still.
Yeah. No, it is a great game. I've got the DLC installed. I've actually restarted my save on it and haven't got very far. That's kind of like what I call a project game alongside Horizon Zero Dawn to run through that slowly throughout the year. So we'll see if I eventually get to the point where I can unlock the DLC. I might have just bought it for nothing in the end, which would be a bit of a disaster. Let's move on to industry news. Got a couple of topics here, maybe 2 or 3, maybe a few more. But I wanted to start with a report that surfaced in the middle of February, and the long and short of it was that this report was suggesting that Disney and Lucasfilm are considering pulling the Star Wars franchise from EA and giving it to another publisher to develop anything to do with Star Wars in the video game kind of industry. There could be several reasons for this as why they would want to do that. One would probably be the most highest profile blunder, which is, the Battlefront 2 loot box debacle. You've then got the fact they've actually only released 3 games since 2013.
Yeah.
So not a great deal of output there. Battlefront, the original, come out. I think it got half decent reviews, but everyone agreed that there wasn't enough content there. Even Logan, who initially was going to review that game but then got scared because he didn't want to give it a low score, just outright refused it. That is what happened, Logan, regardless of what you say. That's what goes down in the history books. But you're a big fan of Star Wars, Logan. Do you think that this could actually happen, that the agreement they had in place since 2013, Lucasfilm and Disney say, you know what, EA, you're fucking this up, for lack of a better term. Get out. We're going to get someone else in.
Maybe. Maybe they're just trying to give them a little bit of a kick up the arse.
Scare them.
It might be scare
negotiation tactics.
Yeah, but the thing is, when they've actually released a game, they haven't actually done a bad job with it. They're not bad games. They look really good. They've got everything on point.
There's always something about it that's.
But there's always
that's lurking. That's like, it's not enough content in Battlefront 1. It's like, right, there's content, but now there's loot boxes. No, we're going to take them out because everyone's gone mental.
There's always going to be an element of money, isn't there, nowadays, which is fine, but limit it like every other game has to cosmetics or whatever they like. I've accepted they're a part of every game now. Just chuck them in for cosmetics and that's it, done. I don't like the card thing they've got going on. What do you call it? Sort of I don't like that.
Titanfall had them burn cards, and I don't know. That's how I've always categorised them. But yeah, the whole Battlefront 2, where you sort of progress through, opening a loot box that gives you, parts to a weapon and you craft it. Just that's why they're not paid for anymore. But they're due to come back in.
But in short, I don't think EA have done a bad job. So I would be surprised. No, but when you actually get on there and you actually play the game, they're not ever going to be Game of the Year style games, I don't think. I just don't.
But it's fucking Star Wars. This IP is a license to print money for everyone involved. There's so many different genres that Star Wars could hit and should be hitting today, and I just feel like EA have fumbled this opportunity a little bit. They've had 3 games out. That ain't good enough for 2013. We're getting a Star Wars game every single year, and I feel like this Star Wars should be at the front of every medium, and video games is the perfect kind of Trojan horse into people to say, look, don't forget Han Solo's coming out late this year. Here's our little Han Solo type game, little action adventure game to get you pumped.
It depends how they want to take it, though. If they're going to do it in a first-person shooter type jobby, then they obviously looked at what EA have done with Battlefield and gone, yeah, that's where we want to kind of go with it.
Yeah.
Like that, where you go with, those Treyarch or whoever's making COD now. I can't fucking remember who it is.
Activision.
But
Sledgehammer
Games, yeah. So you either go with them, who aren't exactly, you know, I wouldn't
smashing it out the park,
yeah, or Battlefield, who are probably slightly better at the moment. You'd probably argue, but still, is it exactly?
There's got to be better though. I mean, the thing is, like, there's been a petition, hasn't there, that this rumour stems from, by the looks of things. That's up to like whatever it is, 200,000 signatures saying that they should lose it. Yeah, which is substantial, really, isn't it? When you think about it, like it's quite a large number. But who do get it if EA don't? Because it's got to go to a huge studio, because they're the only ones that will be able to afford the rights to it all, etc. Because it's not going to get given away for free, is it? But
the report rumoured either Activision, who, you know,
it'd be a risk for me to punt on Activision.
They've got Blizzard there. They could palm it off to Blizzard. Imagine Blizzard doing a Star Wars game.
Well, this is it. Like something like Blizzard or Bethesda, for example. I think would
say
Bethesda. Imagine imagine a Skyrim style Star Wars game, and how fucking awesome that would be. Where it was like open world, you ponder around, you could play as fucking Luke Skywalker or something, and
it'd be shit though. That's the trouble with that. That's too. Then, but the thing is though, people just. This is the problem. It's a poison chalice, that Star Wars thing. You say it's the biggest thing ever, but you've always got people that are going to sit there bitching and moaning because it ain't exactly what they want. And that's the trouble. It's a fanboy audience that you're never going to please. I mean,
how many really great Star Wars games has there ever been?
Yeah.
Rogue Squadron.
Yeah. Battlefront 3 would have been good if they hadn't fucking canned it back in the day before they rebooted
it. Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah. BioWare jobby. Who are at EA. Right. Why is that not being resurrected?
And maybe Star Wars pod racing.
Yes, pod racing.
Which I enjoyed.
Pod racing.
But
they don't need to be like Game of the Year, though, do they? I think what fans want is, you mentioned like 5 or 6 games there that are all hitting different genres, so people that are interested in X genre can play it.
It's going. I mean, there was The Force Unleashed. There was that series. I mean, it wasn't great, but people enjoyed it. It was a hack and slash, simple, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like there is a lot of room for scope of stuff. Like Rogue Squadron was great, and it was only aerial battles. I know it was a long time ago, and like you say, like pod racing, these are all different genres, and EA have just failed to hit. I know they've invested a lot in the Battlefront series, but you know, you'd like to think, like you said, they diversify a little bit. There's a lot of room to work with, and a lot of different ideas they could throw out there, rather than just sticking with the same old fucking first-person shooter shit.
The thing is, I must admit, in Battlefront, with all the TIE fighter fight and everything like that, that was actually really good in it.
Yeah.
They did a good job of that side of it as well. So there were game modes there, but it's just, this is what I mean when you go, well, do you do a full game release, or do they just do minor games or mini games, if you like?
Yeah, like you say, it's the poison chalice, isn't it? You're never going to keep people happy.
I don't think so. I think they did a good job on Battlefront, the original. And the way that they had it with the AT-ATs and everything like that, I thought was brilliant. It was good fun. They just needed to expand on it a little bit. And then for some reason, in the second one, they just completely went away from that. And when me and Apps played the beta, we were just like, it's all right. But where's this? It lost.
Before that, we was all buying it, wasn't we? We was all buying that game before.
It was. So the thing is, the Battlefront, and this is what I mean, is you have to look back on it and go that when you were playing it, all right, it didn't have a massive variety, but when you were playing it, it felt epic.
Yeah, I remember you saying that to me. You were like, everything about it, the sounds, everything, just really sunk you into the Star Wars universe, and that's the big selling point for it, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I remember you saying, Logan, if it didn't have the Star Wars footprint on it, it wouldn't have even got bought. That was your exact words. It wouldn't have even got bought, but because it had Star Wars on it, I went, "Yep, give me that."
Absolutely, because it's the whole thing of being immersed in that world that you know. So it's that part of it that makes it appealing.
So imagine this. Sorry, go on, carry on.
No, it's all right. Go on.
So imagine this. So you're saying we've got first-person shooters, and you're happy with that. Imagine an Uncharted-style game where you control Han Solo or young Han Solo.
Well, this was my kind of
opportunities are being blown. The Amy Hennig game, which they cancelled not so long ago and went in a different direction, shut down Visceral Games Studio, was going to be in that ilk if reports are to be believed. And then EA went, nah, I don't like where that's going. We're going to focus on something that's got a little bit more of an online appeal. And things
it's
like that, you just think, what are you doing?
But you wonder how much they are hindered by LucasArts or now Disney by
Sending
saying
everything back. Go, can you approve this? Can you? Approve that?
By them saying no, we don't want you to do story-based bits and pieces because we don't want you to break Star Wars canon or anything. Yeah. So you could say like a game like I say like Mass Effect or Skyrim or something where you have like a young Jedi that grows up and whatever else, and it would be fucking amazing, but they might just be saying no, you can't do that, or you can't follow the lines of the films or whatever, because we don't want that. We don't want you to do that. We don't want you to break canon. We don't want you to spoil the stories. So
it's always a bit of a strange one for me that they did that, because they've obviously got their Battlefield franchise, which was out there doing the same thing. They know what Call of Duty's doing out there. And I think there was something else as Titanfall. That's it. Titanfall was lingering as well. So it was already a saturated FPS market. And it was always a bit of an... Yeah, well, that's what I mean. You chuck that in there and all of a sudden you got 4 games. It's like us lot where we went, well, it's really one of 4. And it ended up being Battlefield. And then the others just get stung because you go, well, it's the same shit, just different window dressing.
The laughing thing about that is that Titanfall, Battlefront and Battlefield are all EA properties.
Yeah.
So 3 out of 4.
You just think, why not just diversify it a little bit?
Yeah.
There you go.
What I'd like to see happen, this is, if they take, because it's exclusive, only EA can develop games for Star Wars. I don't feel they're outputting enough. I think they should get in a situation where Lucasfilm and Disney sit there and they say, right, if you want to, it's open, the IP's open. If you want to develop a game, you come to us, you pitch us a game, we approve it, and then you go off and make it. We help you with funding, marketing, all that stuff. I think that's the best way to do it, rather than tying it to one...
Rather than linking it,
publisher. Because that is a lot, to be fair to it, it's a load of pressure, isn't it? Having the sole responsibility to develop and publish Star Wars games in the current, climate where it's, probably maybe more popular than it's ever been, with the new films coming out every year and the amount of marketing and the way Disney are pushing it. That's a hell of a lot of responsibility for one studio to do. So I feel if they just sat back a little bit and had, developers come to them about passion projects and things and approved them on that basis, that could work. Then going maybe, okay, Ubisoft have got it for the next 5 years, because they might do the same thing. They might not have the resources to, get out as many Star Wars games as what we'd want.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? And again, it's a difficult decision, because the Battlefronts are not terrible games. They're just much of more of the same. Like you say, 3 EA FPSs, and you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But I'm with you. I think that if they just opened up the IP and said to people, pitch us your games, and we'll see what comes of it. We'll let the market settle where it does, and you can see what's popular and what's not, and then make a decision. But difficult.
Indeed. So let's move on to our next item. This is to do with a little bit related to Battlefront 2 in terms of microtransactions and loot boxes and whatnot. But the ESRB is going to introduce an in-game purchases label to all games that allow you to spend money within the game itself. So for those that don't know, the ESRB was formed in the mid-90s in America, and it was there to self-regulate the age ratings and give content advice for consumers. So essentially, Mortal Kombat, what's that other one with the women in the house that you can't... It's like a FMV videos, and you have to try and keep them alive. Night Trap or something. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. Got re-released recently. But those sort of games were coming out in the mid-90s and were causing a bit of a stir. There was no age ratings or anything like that at the time. And then the ESRB said, look, no need for the government to step in. We will regulate this ourselves. We will put age ratings on there. This will be an 18. This will be a 50, whatever it is. And over here we have PEGI that manages that. But in America, it's the ESRB. So on the surface of things, it appears as though they're reacting to the negative press and attention that has been drawn to microtransactions, in particular loot boxes. And this has obviously been rolling for a few months now. And I think their plan is to show that they are trying to self-regulate this, and thus government intervention is not needed. Hearing this approach where they're going to slap a label on there, do you think this is a good first step?
I personally, I think this is difficult because I personally don't have a problem with microtransactions or in-game purchasing, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
it's there. It's an option. I don't like pay to win, but
unless it's free.
Yeah, but I don't like pay to win bits and pieces. But when it's cosmetics, as it is with a lot of games nowadays, where it's skins and different bits and pieces, I don't really have too much of an issue with it. But I understand that people who have got young children who are playing these games, as opposed to myself, where it's my card details that are online and all the rest of it. If I buy something, it's on me. I understand.
Your other halves.
Yeah, but whereas when it's
should be
when it's kids that are doing it with parents' card details and parents' money and stuff, I can understand why it's a bit of a touchy subject. Do I think that it needs to be regulated further than it already is? Not especially. I don't understand, to be honest, how much of a difference it's going to be slapping on and, you know, it includes microtransactions or in-game purchases or whatever you want to call it on the box or on the thing when you buy the game. People just need to not be morons, as far as I'm concerned. And it's easy for me to say that as a man without any children who are spending my money online, but just don't be idiots. Like, put password protection on stuff and prevent it from happening. And if you can't afford to buy stuff like that, don't buy it, because it doesn't matter that much. Or don't buy the games in which that matters. You know, we're not saying we're stopping pay to win. They're not saying they're stopping microtransactions or loot boxes. They're just saying we're going to identify the games that have got them, which now it basically means that logo is going to go on every single game.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we've held a little bit of information there because on the surface, if you read the headline, you think, oh, it's for those that are only offering loot boxes. But when you actually read and drill into the details, what it actually covers is as follows. Games with in-game offers to purchase digital goods or premiums with real-world currency, including but not limited to bonus levels.
So DLC.
Skins, surprise items such as item packs, loot boxes, or mystery awards. I've never heard of them. Music, virtual coins, and other forms of in-game currency, subscriptions, season passes, and upgrades. So that basically
is everything.
And it's not going to... The intention of perhaps isolating loot boxes is gone because, like you said, every game is going to be having this.
When was the last game that you had which didn't have some kind of either DLC or microtransaction to it? I'm looking now at my shelf of games and I can't see a single one that wouldn't tick one of those boxes that you've just listed off.
Yeah. When the season passes are included, that sort of kills off any single player.
I mean, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. With this knowledge, Logan, that doesn't really help consumers, does it? If it's slapped on nearly every game, it's just going to become that stupid arbitrary age rating that most just ignore and we go, well, they've all got this now, so I'll be getting it for Jimmy anyway.
A little bit. When I was listening to it, I was thinking, I can see the benefit in it, because if you bear in mind, there's a lot of parents out there that probably don't really know what their kids are doing. There's probably a lot of parents out there that don't understand that once you buy the game. Once you buy it, you don't, get
them the Evil Within 2 and they won't even want to fucking play games anymore. Scare the shit out of them.
Well, this is a point. I mean, there's so many kids out there at the moment anyway with games that they shouldn't have already. It's kind of become arbitrary. But I think, if you can make people aware. I mean, I kind of agree with Hall, is don't put your bloody credit card or bank account details on there as something that, children can access because they'll take the piss. But ultimately, anything that can say, please beware, there are items in this game which may charge you extra money, would be a good thing. It's just about, without putting a bloody whopping great big long sign on it, if it's just going to be a dollar sign or a pound sign, or do you know what I mean? It's not clear at first point.
When was the last time that you had a microtransaction again where you click on it and then it doesn't go, oh, you're buying this, are you sure you want to buy it? And then you click on yes and you go, right, okay, we're about to process the transaction, click yes again.
Your card.
It's like, it's not like there's just a fucking button in the corner of the screen that you hover over and then it starts draining your bank account.
The thing is, you could ask it. There could be 5 verification steps. A kid that's on it for their parents' details go through as many times. So it's not about that. It's just about making parents aware, I suppose, when they're buying it. Because if it's you buying it and you go, "Oh, I didn't know it was there," and you're draining your bank account with it, you're a moron.
Yeah,
there's no.
Absolutely.
For me, it's got to be about people that are buying it for their children. So it's about how you make that clear. But
by putting it on everything, that just kind of defeats the object. It feels like.
Yeah, that'll be watered down. Oh, if you're the US government who have been sniffing around this, saying, "Oh, gambling in video games, what's all this?" and you see the ESRB doing this, is that enough to throw you off the scent, or would you be like, "Oh, hang on, I think you need to do a bit more than slapping a little sign on everything for 80% of your games"?
I mean,
not
not
blood.
Yeah, I mean, not for me, because I just don't see it doing it.
You're Trump. You're sitting there in Trump Towers or White House.
Don't even fucking make the comment that I could be that. But yeah,
you
I mean,
pro-Trump. Don't act like you're not on this podcast.
Him and his hair really give me an erection.
What you said to me is that Nigel Farage and Donald Trump are the two favourite people.
Big Nige and Super Donny are away. No, the thing is, I'd like to say I don't know what they're hoping to achieve out of it. By making
scare off the
awareness,
government and say we're doing it.
But it's not, is it? Because they've just fucking boshed it on literally everything. If it's loot boxes and gambling in video games they've got a problem with, I mean, I don't understand how loot boxes are gambling. I feel like you're paying for something. It's different if it was, if it's like on these Steam sites or these Counter-Strike sites where you're gambling stuff. Yeah, but you're getting
something.
Yeah, you're not gambling. It's not like you're going to walk away with a zero, which is.
My stance on it is that it's not technically gambling because you get something.
You are paying. You are paying for something.
Yeah, and you can transfer that into you can't transfer that into real world money unless it's like CS:GO skins.
Do you remember you used to put like £1 in? They used to be in like pubs or whatever when we were younger. You used to put £1 in. You used to get.
You couldn't lose. You keep trying.
Yeah. But
you picked what you got to a certain extent.
It's like getting a Kinder Egg. Not knowing what your toy is.
Yeah, it's not gambling. You're buying something, knowing full well you're going to get something out at the end of it. There's just no guarantee as to what it is.
Yeah.
So
what I would say about loot boxes though is a lot of them, if you watch how they are displayed, they kind of prey on that mentality of a slot machine, the way they kind of roll and then an item's dropped. So the argument is that people who are susceptible to that type of addiction or that type of mental, I guess, corruption, if you want to call it that way. It's not the right word, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Paul is mentally corrupt.
Well, that is me. Yeah, exactly. I fucking love gambling, but I don't go out and buy a load of fucking loot boxes. I'll gamble properly. I'll go and fucking drop it all at the casino.
I know this sounds ridiculous, but you are an adult technically, so you shouldn't be. you should be all right in that sense. Yeah, but if you're little Hall Junior, he's got the same sort of genes in him. He's got a little like gambling problem. You go, there you go. There's Overwatch. There's some skins and stuff that come for, and he's like, oh,
he's gonna reach a point.
He's a degenerate by the time he's 25.
He's got every single fucking skin, and you can't get any more. Then what happens then? You're buying.
He's reached your bank account for 150 quid.
He ain't gambling. He's buying. And if he buys shit that ain't his, then I'll fucking bat him around the ear. It aggravates me that people say that it's gambling. It's not gambling. Don't pretend that it's gambling. Fucking look after your children and look over their shoulder when they're playing games, or put a fucking password on your fucking accounts, you stupid pricks.
Let's see.
Do you not agree they're predatory in their nature?
So gambling
predatory? It's not
gambling. Is taking risky action in the hope of a desired result.
Right. You know what the result's going to be. You buy something, you get goods.
I might get currency though. I wanted Mercy's devil skin. I can't get it.
Gambling is the wagering of money or something of value on an event with an uncertain outcome, the primary intent of winning money or material goods.
Right. You're not getting either of them things. You're getting digital goods. And it's not like I say, you can't walk away with nothing out of it.
No, you can walk away with dog shit, but you can't walk away with nothing.
Though. The fact that you come away with nothing is irrelevant, or the fact you come away with saying that's not what gambling is. It's not the fact that you put money in and get something else. That you're gambling on the fact that you will get what you want, and you might not.
I don't see it as being gambling.
But you are a degenerate, Hall, so we can't take your word for it, I'm afraid. We've seen you down that casino.
Fine.
Trying to put the house on the line.
People are just fucking idiots, mate. Monitor what's going on in your house better.
Yeah, but the world has to be catered for morons. You have to realise this.
No, yeah, it does. But then don't punish all of us for the few morons that can't keep an eye on fucking.
You're not getting punished.
It is because
dirty old great sticker on his box.
Yeah, exactly. I've got some.
How's that punishment? You don't even look at the box.
That's my point.
How about
It doesn't fucking matter, does it?
How about we don't have them in games to start with, and then no one's bothered
How am I
by it,
getting
are
these
they?
skins then?
Well, you just fucking buy what you want. Do it that way, and then you know what you're getting. It's still shit. That's what I was going to
It's
say,
all
Logan.
shit. It's all dreadful. I don't care. Fucking, I don't
Caught
care.
on a bad day, haven't we?
I don't. This aggravates me. I don't care what my fucking characters look like. Just don't give me pay to win. Eliminate pay to win from games.
Right.
And
That's done.
They haven't, have they? Though.
No, Battlefront did.
Other than
didn't.
Battlefront.
Call of
Took it
Duty
out.
Modern Warfare remastered. God.
What's that got in it, Croc?
There is
Tell
gun-
me, because I've
there
heard
is
about
gun-
this stuff lurking in this.
Right. So basically, they have put in their additional guns, which weren't available in the OG game. To get these guns, you basically get loot boxes which give you parts, and once you've got a certain amount of parts, you unlock the gun. But you can get the parts because you get a certain amount of coins or whatever per game you complete, and then for every certain amount of coins, you can get a loot box. Now.
Or you could just buy them.
Or you can buy them if you want. Now, there is an argument that some of the guns would be classed as better than the standard
Right.
guns, but that isn't necessarily the case.
Have you bought any?
But it is.
No, but I have unlocked some.
Right.
And
That's the trouble. What they do is, with things like this is why I say predatory sometimes, is they put that little carrot dangling, and then they go, right, if you want that, realistically you've got to play the game for 600 hours or whatever to get enough parts to then craft it. And that's what I think someone worked it out on Battlefront 2, how long it would take for you to unlock Darth Vader, for example, and it was something ludicrous in terms of the amount of time you had to put in.
Yeah. I mean, Hearthstone's terrible for it. I love Hearthstone.
Yeah.
I think it's a great game. But every time a new expansion comes out, half the cards go out of circulation, and you have to buy packs in order to stay relevant or play it shitloads, which no one's going to do. So, like, when I try and get to Legend for one of my gaming targets, I know I'm going to have to spend 50 odd quid on packs just to get up to speed with everyone else.
But you didn't pay 50 quid to start with for the game.
No, I didn't.
Just
I've
downloaded
paid
it.
fucking 200 for all the fucking previous cunty expansions.
plus the cards you need to then get them. That's the
exactly.
joke of it. is
Yeah,
that
I've easily spent 300 odd pounds on Hearthstone, I reckon.
Yeah.
Don't let Sans hear this. Sugarland.
Don't care, mate. I'm shouting it. She's probably walked in downstairs. Going,
But the thing is, as long as it's there and it is only and it doesn't harm the game as such, then just let it happen.
but
I know that Apps isn't a fan of it. I
pay
know
to win
that.
harms games.
But there isn't really pay to win, though, is there?
I just said it, Hearthstone has.
Well, no, because I could win on that, and I haven't spent anywhere.
You ain't
near
good
it.
enough.
You're not going to get to the very top level without all the cards.
You haven't got to the very top level, so
Because I don't have all the cards.
you're intolerable.
Well, that's that. That's loot boxes done. An ESRB.
Wrong thought.
Spiraled out of control. I didn't think they'd get that heated, but I'm glad for that. Yakuza 6 demo lands on the PlayStation Store for everyone to play. Some users play it and are able to unlock the full game. This is an absolute blower, isn't it, Krogan?
Well,
For Sega and for those guys to have allowed that loophole in there. That's a stinger for them, because some people now have got hold of that.
well, you know who's lost his job over that? Poor Alan.
Alan never loses his job. Alan's sat there and gone, right, that may have been my fault, but that fucking intern we had in, he's... Oh.
Well, there's not a lot to say, is there, than other than someone's fucked up badly, haven't they? And they're going to pay the price for it. But, I mean, it seems odd that they'd do it in the way that they've done. I don't think I've ever seen a demo or a beta that has allowed you to do that in some way. Because sure, you'll have to download the whole fucking game.
Well, I think the demo was huge. I think the actual...
30 gigabyte.
Yeah, and what it could do is
ridiculous.
it let you carry your progress over. So my assumption is, in order to do that, it had the game walled off to a certain extent, sort of in the background. But if I played the demo and then got to through the prologue, I then play Yakuza 6 day one. I've already done the prologue. I'll just carry on with my save. So I think that's why the whole game was there.
Well, I thought that was the idea of save game profiles and all that shit that they invented 25 years ago.
Yeah, but you still need the game there, don't you, to make it operate properly. It's got to still be on the same code base.
Well, yeah, but I get what you're saying, but Football Manager does that every year.
What do you mean?
Well, it chucks out a demo,
Yeah.
which isn't as big as a full game,
Right.
and then you just use that save games file in the.
Well, you don't, because you cheat and restart every time.
I don't cheat.
Give me that.
But basically, it takes me a few saves to understand the meta. I don't.
Paul, if you were a fan of Yakuza 6,
Yeah.
and you downloaded the demo,
Yeah.
and you was like, she's asking for halls. I don't know why you're yapping. You had your say. And you say you're a fan of
Paul gets
Yakuza.
to waffle for 20 minutes. I get cut off after 2.5.
He had a lot to say. They say to you, you download it, you play it, and you go, I've unlocked the full game here, but I am a fan of the series. Do you keep your console offline and keep the free game?
Yeah.
Because they'll patch that. Or do you go, you know what, you fucked up, but I'm going to let you off. I'm going to pay for the free game, the game anyway, because I want to support you guys.
I play through it as quickly as possible before they realise their mistake. Complete the game and then go, thanks very much for your help. See you later. As if I'm ever going to fucking delete it and be like, I'll pay 40 quid for this game. Especially if the game's shit.
It won't be 40 quid either on the digital store. It'll be $59.99.
Yeah, exactly. They have absolutely blown it. Like, it's gonna absolutely ram raid sales, because the thing is as well, people that are likely to go out and buy it day one are the people that are likely to play the demo.
Yeah.
They've patched it already, though, haven't they?
Yeah, it's come down.
They haven't patched it. They've just taken it off the store.
Yeah.
So those that have already downloaded it have still got it.
Yeah. My assumption is at some point a patch will go in and it'll auto update. But if you keep your console offline, you've taken the title there. You fools. PlayStation Plus is dropping PlayStation Vita and PS3 games in 2019. We had this month's games announced for PlayStation Plus: Bloodborne and Ratchet & Clank. That's probably two of the highest rated games that they've released together on any of these, games with gold or PlayStation Plus. So a good month for Sony fans if you haven't played either of those. Logan, I think you'll like Ratchet & Clank, so definitely give that a download.
Yeah.
But they're dropping off their support for Vita and PS3 in that realm. Logan, do you care? I'm assuming not, because you don't have any of those devices. But if you did have one of those devices, would you be bothered, or would you be like, right, time to move on, PS4 jobby?
I think that's what they're saying. I know they're going.
Alan's gone.
We're sick of this.
Cutting the head off of this. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, at some point you've got to draw the line. So yeah, crack on. I mean, I think they should just put games that are over a certain age anyway on that back catalogue job in. If you want it, pay cheap as chips for it, and you can download it and play it. That's what I think anyway. I've got no problem with it. I'm concerned though that you didn't highlight Bloodborne to me. You went Ratchet & Clank, good game, but you don't think I've got the minerals for Bloodborne, which
I think
you
it'd be a
absolutely
very
haven't.
entertaining stream if you would like to participate in that.
I played that demo and did alright, didn't I? Back at EGX.
You lasted the longest, but when I actually looked at your screen, you were just rolling. You weren't engaging. You were rolling away from things.
Right, but I did alright though.
I'll come round and coach you, and we'll try and get through the first boss or something on a stream.
Yeah.
And then we'll see the real meltdowns happening. But yeah, so that's Vita and PS3 support dropped. I think it's to be expected. The PS3, normally the end of the PS3 is when FIFA doesn't get released on it. They've got a FIFA 18 version. Whether they'll get a 19 version, I don't know. But it's not being produced anymore, that console. So RIP for that. And we now celebrate the first birthday of the Nintendo Switch. I thought it'd be good just to check in here and mention that it's been out a year now. Hall, how have you enjoyed your opening year with the Nintendo Switch? And are you looking forward to many more happy years?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. I think it's been a good year for Nintendo, all things considered. When you look at previous consoles, I mean, the Wii U was a bit of a flop. Obviously, the Wii did very well, but I mean, that was fucking years ago now. I think the Switch has had a generally positive reception. I know a lot of our friends have bought it and some have sold it and this, that and the other, and maybe the games haven't quite been there in year one. They've had a couple of real big ones that they've ridden off the coattails of, but there's not been sort of smash hit after smash hit. But then that's difficult when a lot of third parties are not developing for your console, I suppose. You know, it's
more are though. They are getting more.
Yeah, it's getting better, but they seem to be getting older games that are finally coming out on the Switch, if that makes sense. So like Doom came out quite recently, which I looked at and thought maybe I'll get it on Switch instead of Xbox. But I mean, it's been out on Xbox for bloody ages, hasn't it? So, but end of the day, the Switch has produced the two best games of the last year.
Yeah.
And I refute anyone to argue that.
Yeah, well, I would agree with that. I think I put them top two. I know what you're talking about, Zelda and obviously Mario.
I think they're the top two games of the last year by quite a distance.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I put also Horizon Zero Dawn in at 3, closely to Zelda at 2, and then Mario. But what other console or developer is doing that? That's a sensational year, really, when you think about it. And not only from last year, those two games' scores are ranking in the all-time list very high.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't looked at them on either Game Rankings or OpenCritic recently, but I would. Yeah, when they first came out, at the very least, they're both top 5 games, and they're not a million miles away from that. They are just fucking outrageously good games.
Mm-hmm. And that's enough for me. I don't want hit after hit on Nintendo Switch. I want something to appear every few months that's really good, got super quality, that I dip in for, and then go back to what I was doing before.
Yeah. And the replay value on both of those, I know Loading said that he's put Odyssey down a little bit and then not doing it, but the Switch is... The big positive for the Switch is just is the pick up and playability of it. I could literally be sat in bed and just go, I fancy playing a half hour of Mario before I go to sleep, or take it on the shitter with me and sit and play whilst I'm sat there. I know Atkins loves that one.
Dirty bastard.
Yeah, real poo on the screen. There's definitely, it's like I say, it's that pick up and playability that the Switch has got. It just makes it so. For me, I'm so glad that I bought it. So pleased with it.
Yeah, same here. Logan, what's your thoughts on year one for Switch? You've bought a couple of games on it. Some haven't quite stuck as much as you thought, but you certainly enjoyed Mario.
Yeah, I really like it. It's probably my favourite console at the minute. I don't know why. I just found it really endearing. As Hall says, I like the fact that I can just pick it up, switch it on, play it, put it down. I like the way the store works, like the way they've got constant offers on and charts and stuff. They appear to have a much larger category or back catalogue of games than they've had before. I really like it. I think it's kind of, I'm always one for mobile gaming anyway, so it kind of fits right in where I want to be with it. And I'm a bit disappointed I haven't really got a chance to play Splatoon 2 on it yet. But
of course, Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart. But if at some point in the future the audience is there for it, I'll jump on then. But that's the great thing about it, I think, is that I never feel like I've missed a boat on things on it for some reason. I always feel like there's a comeback ability that it's got.
That's it. Yeah. And exactly it. It's that pick up and playability that even old games that had been like, I've got both Splatoon and Mario Kart, and if you said to me tomorrow, let's play one of them, I'd be like, I'm in.
Shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. Right. I'm ready.
Done.
Let's do it after the podcast.
Got dinner, but one day we'll do it. Maybe not Mario Kart, because you'll whip me at that.
Well, I did a Mario Kart tournament with James, and we only played one, and it was great fun. Like, we weren't even talking to one another because the party system on it's a bag of shit. But it was still fun, just racing against one another, which is ridiculous. But I suppose you have not had that party game, like, really, other than playing a lot of first-person shooters together.
No.
Not been a lot of games that we've sort of all played as a group, really.
No, and that's something that it definitely offers in Splatoon and Mario Kart. They give you those options there. But great first year, sold very well.
Looking forward to
onwards and
next year.
upwards.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's before we wrap up, just check in with the Fantasy Gaming League of 2018. So great to have one of the captains on here in Mr. Hall, so he can dissect the performance so far from the team. Not a lot happening, obviously. We're just 2 full months into it, starting the 3rd month now. At present, the 8 legs, 6 legs captained by Mr. Adcock has got 3 games out. So that's Monster Hunter World of a 91, Civ 6 Rise and Fall expansion at 84, and Bayonetta 2 Switch edition is on an 88. So strong start, strong 3 games there, nothing below an 80, which is always, good to see. Hall, Team Speedrun, you've got Shadow of the Colossus, which you picked at 92, absolute steamroller. And then Chappers has given you Lost Sphere, which has got a 70, so probably not as high as what you was hoping there. How are you feeling as captain? Are you still pleased looking at the 2 lists and what potentially is coming out and potential scores? Because we've got a release date for Detroit Become Human, 25th of the 5th as well, so that's coming this year.
Yeah.
Don't need to worry about that one. Anthem looks like it's going to slip, which is something that you picked.
Yeah.
So that might be a transfer jobby, but across the list elsewhere, happy?
Yeah, I knew that was going to be a risk. I didn't think it was going to come out this year. I still think there are potentially 2, maybe even 3 games on Adcock's list that are going to struggle for 2018 releases. What I'm pleased with is things like Kirby Star Allies, which, to be honest, I was a little bit sneery at because I went the Nintendo route last year and it shot me down. I think Logan's made a great little pick there. I think that's going to do really well. And I think that with the Nintendo Switch being as popular as it is, I feel like Nintendo are going to have a bit of a comeback this year, and we might see some good results out of that. But I'm still confident. I still feel like the games that I've got, I feel like Lost Sphere was a little bit unlucky. I had that in my list myself, so I can't really blame Ben for picking that one. But yeah, I think it's going to be close. It really comes down to the substitutions, because I think both teams will need to make at least one.
Yeah, potentially. Yes, it's interesting because that keeps it alive at least until after E3. So it's early days here. They've got 263, you've got 162. You're a game down. But, that's all going to change as stuff starts coming out. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 games in March potentially dropping.
Yeah.
Or 3 games, sorry. So that's going to catch you up and get you back in it.
Yeah. I must admit that the temptation, I know we both avoided it like the plague during the draft itself, but Sea of Thieves, I keep looking at and thinking it's such a risk. But it was quite popular with a lot when the beta came out, or whatever you wanted to call it. A lot of streamers were hitting it. A lot of people were saying it was great fun, really, really good. And it's like, do I take a punt and sub that in for Anthem early, knowing full well that it's going to come out? But is it going to be a 90-plus game? Probably not. But is it going to be a solid 80 game? I think it probably will. And considering we were both so... it was one that everyone had written down, but no one really wanted to take a punt on. It's, a bit of an odd one, that.
Yeah. Unfortunately for you, Hall, as per the rules, the transfer window doesn't open till after E3.
Yeah, I know.
So it's a gone. It'll be lost in the abyss. If it scores 93, everyone will be like, right, what have you lot been doing?
What have we both done there, yeah. But
I'm going to flip over to the individual ones here. There's a few changes in that and some surprises for people. Mr. Adkins has finally got his first game out, and that's Metal Gear Survive, and it's coming at a stinker of 63. That's not a good start for young Master Adkins there. So Dave's snagged himself Monster Hunter World, so that's still on his 91. Logan, you also got your first game of the year, finally populating a score, and that's Faye over 73. So it's your bottom pick. Probably can't argue too much of that, I don't think, can you?
No.
You don't even remember putting it on your list, do you?
I had a look earlier when you said it to me, and I had a look and I remembered it.
Yeah. You got Red Dead Redemption 2, which is strong. Kirby Star Allies, which is strong, seemingly. It looks quite good. A Way Out, which is coming. This is a big month for you.
Yeah.
No other comment.
No. I think I'm a bit disappointed that Faye got in there. It was one of those, I think, that I left at the bottom. And I was just like, well, it'll never get there. And by the looks of it has. But saying that, it's done better than Adkins. So,
yeah, it's true. It's done. Yeah, if you look at the bottom picks, that's the best of the worst at the moment.
If the others do all right, I shouldn't get moaned at too hard.
No, well, you haven't got to worry too much because your two kind of team picks were Kirby Star Allies and A Way Out. So your
that Way Out contribution is a real concern.
That is a concern. I like the look of it, but I think critically that might not.
I like the look of it as well, but I reckon it will get shat on.
Yeah, it could do. That'll be your contribution to Team Speedrun, and then the rest of your. You're fighting for yourself after that, really. And you've got Anthem as well, which you're going to have to swap out at some point later in the year and take a penalty. Paper, Civilization Rise and Fall, 84 for him. Chapper's still on 70 for Lost Sphere, so that's the only one for him. Biff, the man that no one wanted, and rightfully so. Why would you want him? He's had 3 games out so far. So that's the most of anyone. He's had Moss, the VR game for PlayStation VR. That's got an 84. He's then got Shadow of the Colossus, which has got a 92, as we discussed. And Dragon Ball Fighters has got himself an 87. He's got an incredible first 3 games there. I think that's a really strong start from him.
Don't tell him, though, because he'll be intolerable.
He'll be listening, he'll be knowing now, and he'll be seeing... It's the funny thing about that is none of those picks are his first picks or even his first 2 picks. Moss was his third one. That's his highest one.
So he's lucked out.
He's lucked out as well because he was last on the list. So he was plumb last. He would get what was left over in the scraps, but he managed to still get himself Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, how's no one picked that before him?
No, and that was his 4th pick. So think of how many games before that come.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
that was number 1 on my list.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't on any other one's list.
Yeah.
It was really sinking, but that is a strong start for him. The trouble he's got is that his number 1 pick of We Happy Few, no. Agony, I don't be knowing about. Ace Combat, who knows. Crackdown 3, no.
No.
And then FIFA 19, we know it's going to be a solid 80. I mean, not terrible, but he could be derailed by some toot in there, which would be a tragedy for him.
Can and will.
He can and will.
That's why you can't trust. That's why you can't trust him, mate. That's why no one wanted him. Shadow of the Colossus at number 4. Fucking moron.
That's still higher than anyone else, though.
I mean,
it's the other people you've got to query.
Shambolic, everyone, all ya.
That's a wrap. If you want to hear more about what we do and what we're up to, you can do in several ways. You've got social media, so you've got twitter.com/dimpdigital, you've got facebook.com/dimpdigital, you've got our YouTube channel where you'll find our reviews, you'll find our this podcast archived with some B-roll over the top, opinions, industry commentary, some film stuff, other little bits and pieces. That's youtube.com/dimpdigital. Or finally, you can head over to twitch.tv/dimpdigital to see us streaming. As I said, we are in the streaming game, finding our feet, and if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can actually help support us without paying a single penny. Simply link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, head over to our channel and hit subscribe, and we'll get a little kickback off that. We'll only waste it on beer, though, so do what you want with that. That's it for now, though. Game over. It's goodbye from Logan.
Ta-da.
It's goodbye from Hall.
Bye.
And it's goodbye from me, Apps. Thanks for your time. And ta-da.
We'll be right back.